Hey there friends, in this week's tutorial we're going to design and 3D print this camera overhead mounting arm for a GoPro. This arm can be useful for product presentation, product review videos and all sorts of stuff where you need to assemble a product in both hands free. We are going to design it in Fusion 360, 3D print it and then assemble it using some carbon fiber tubes and some bolts. So let's get started. Let's jump right into Fusion. We start by creating a sphere from the Create menu. Doesn't matter which plane, just click it into center and make it 30 millimeters. Next we need the cutout for the carbon fiber tube and we do it using a center diameter circle. Put it in the center and make it 15 millimeters wide. This is the measurement of the carbon tubes. Now we're going to subtract this profile we just made from the sphere by clicking and holding on the profile and selecting it from the drop down. Hit Q and extrude in one direction and also make it two directions and extrude it a little into the other direction. Hit enter and we're done. Now this can't be printed. We need some contact area for the print to stick to the print bed. Select the backplane and make a rectangle, like so. This will give us a good contact area. Now Q for press pull again, or extrude in this case. Just cut off the bottom, make it symmetrical, and we're done. For easy insertion of the carbon fiber tube later, we're going to do a little chamfer on the inner edge. As I'm doing a little freestyle in Fusion all of the time, I'm gonna create my component a little later. Right click on the body, create component from bodies and always name your component. Last step now is saving the file. Next we're going to create a new component, name it bracket. This is going to be the side plates holding the ball ends together. Start by creating a rectangle in the side view. Get 30 millimeters high and 25 wide. Next step is going to be a circle. Either grab it from the menu or hit C for center diameter circle. Make it 30 millimeters also. And we're going to do another circle. And this is going to be 24 millimeters. You can hit stop sketch now. Next we're going to extrude it. Select the faces other than the inner circle and extrude it by, let's say, 16 millimeters. You have to test a little. If it's too wide, make it a little less. In this step we're going to copy the body from the ball end by right-clicking, selecting copy, making sure the bracket component is selected and inserting it. Don't move it, just hit OK. Going to hide the ball end component. Next we're going to select all the inner parts, inner faces of the ball end component, and we're going to delete them. We just need the sphere as a cutout tool. To do this, go to Modify, Combine, select your target body, select the tool body, and switch the operation to cut. Hit OK. Now we need to make room for the carbon tube. It's going in the ball end sphere part. First we're going to extrude it a little, like 2 millimeters, and make sure ball end body is hidden, otherwise you will cut into it. Let's do this again. Okay, now you can show it again. Next we're going to create the cutout. Select the bottom plane, create a new sketch, and click Slice. When you click and hold, you're going to get a curved line, like so. And make another line. Right now I'm making sure to get enough contact area from the spherical cutout. Hit Stop Sketch. Select the profile we just made and extrude it. Make it symmetrical. This isn't gonna clear the carbon tube we're gonna insert later. So we need to extrude it a little more. Just hit the sketch I did before. Now, this isn't going to work. I'm getting an error because these two lines need to be rounded. I just select them, hit press pull again, and round them. Now I can extrude. Minus 1.5 should be fine. Select these two faces and extrude them backwards a little more. Okay, looking good. In this step we're going to create the holes for the bolts. Now for measurement I'm going to do 2 lines from the outside. Just hit L for line command. make it 3.5. Make it 5 millimeters from both sides. Select the circle or hit C. Make it 5. Now 5 millimeters wide circles so close to the edge wouldn't be really good. So I'm making 2 lines again, make it 7 millimeters. This is gonna give us enough clearance on the end. Now you can create a circle, make it 5 millimeters. Or better, make it 5.3 millimeters. This is going to clear the bolts a little better and make them at both sides. Hit stop sketch. Select the half circles and Q for press pull and extrude. Now on the outside we're going to create one circle for the bolt head. I've measured it before, I'm going to measure it again. And we need a polygon for the nut to go in the other side. Let's make the circle a little wider and hit stop sketch. These two new profiles need to be extruded inwards to make room for the bolt head and for the nut. This should be fine. Okay. Almost done. Final step is going to be mirroring the body we just created. Select body, select the mirror plane, mirror it over. Now we got one side of the bracket, still 2 components, and we can select combine, select the join operation, select both bodies, and we're done. Now for easier removing from the print bed later, we're doing a chamfer on the outside and also on the insides of the circle. Also on the bolt head and the nut part, by control clicking the edges, we're going to get a chamfer on all edges. So let's get to the next part. For mounting the camera we're gonna need some plate and we need a ball end on the other end. That's why I created a component. Name it and just move it to the side. I don't need my components fixed in place. I'm not going to do assemblies inside Fusion 360. Hit OK. I'm going to create a construction plane and align it with the inner face inside the ball end, and I'm going to move it out somewhat. And there I create a center rectangle. It's going to be square. Like so. This is going to be our bottom plate. Extrude it a few millimeters, that's fine. And next we're going to round the corners. You don't have to do this, but I like it. I like the looks. Next step is doing the holes for the mounting of this plate to, actually mount it to anything you like. I did mount mine to a piece of MDF wood, just to give it some weight in the bottom. Make these holes in all four corners and then select all of them and extrude. Next step, we need a circle connecting the plate to the ball end. You can draw this on any plane you like, but I put it in between the two objects using the slice option. Extrude it inwards and select join as the operation. It's looking very nice. And for the final step on the joint between the two, I'm selecting both edges and rounding them. Not so much, but yeah, this looks nice. Almost done, looking good. Last step on this object is going to be a chamfer on the outer edge of the plate and on the bolt holes we created. Just because I'm using countersunk screws. If you like to use any other screws, it's fine, just leave them the way they are. Okay, it's looking good. Perfect, time to save your object. So, final new component. We need the ball adapter for the GoPro mount. I create a new component, name it. And I'm going to copy the ball end once again. Just move it over to the side, that's fine. Like so. Because I'm going to print all the parts separately. Or doing my build plate in the slicer software for the 3D printer, that's fine. The workflow is nearly the same as with a ball end plate. I'm going to use a construction plane again. Don't move it out too far, that's already fine. And I'm going to use a center rectangle again. That's why it's in my menu already. I don't need the normal rectangle nearly as much. We're going to measure one of the GoPro foots. And I'm writing down the numbers. This is one of the original adapters for my GoPro. It came with it. Basically the foot is 13 by 15 millimeters, 16 millimeters deep, and rounded at the edge. The center blade in the mount is roughly 3.2 millimeters. I'm going to make it a little smaller later, and on the outside it's 2.6, I think. Let's measure it. Yeah, 2.6 is fine. Now let's recreate this in Fusion. Make a center rectangle, make it 13 by 15 millimeters. Make another center rectangle right in the middle. (13 by 3.2). For the sides we select the normal rectangle. 2.6 by 7 millimeters. And we do this from both sides. Now select your components. We just select the outer rectangles and the one in the middle, and we're going to extrude it by 16 millimeters. I'm going to use the same sketch again, just highlight the sketch again in the menu. Select all the little rectangles down there and extrude it into the ball and choose join as operation. Next I'm selecting all the edges up here, like so. Hitting Ctrl to select multiple edges, of course. And for the value is 6.5, I think. Half of the 7 millimeters. This is looking good. Now we need a hole for the bolt. Select circle, center diameter circle, or just hit C. Find the center of the rounded edges, make it 5.3, just to clear the bolt a little better. And also we're going to do the edge for the nut that's going in there. Doing another circle with 30 millimeters and then putting in a polygon. It's roughly a little bit bigger than half of the measurement we took from the bolt. Okay, looking good. Extrude this outwards. I think 4 millimeters should be fine for this. Hit OK. Show the sketch again, select the inner circle and extrude it into the other directions. Okay, that's fine. The last step is more of a cosmetic step. I'm going to do a little bit strengthening for the part I just created. You don't have to do this. I like the looks of it. And it's basically doing 2 rectangles and extruding some edges. I think you can follow it. I don't have to explain this. After you've done all the other steps, it's the same procedure as before. Now to print it, we're going to export all the objects, the bodies, as STLs, put them in our slicer software, like I'm using Cura from, and just print them. After printing, I used countersunk screws to mount the bottom plate to my MDF, and M5 by 20mm screws and nuts for attaching the brackets to the ball ends. The carbon fiber tube is just inserted into the balls. You might need to clean it out a little to get a better fit, but I kept it pretty tight to get a good friction fit. You see me using a lot of force to get it into. The GoPro frame and the bolts are from Thingiverse. Thanks for watching, I hope you found it useful. Like and subscribe, and see you next time. Bye bye.